If you're stressed about IGCSE maths, don't worry. This full past paper walkthrough will show you exactly how to answer every question with confidence. Today we are going through IGCSE 2023 Maths Paper 1H step by step. If you've got any tricky questions, just email them to me and I'll cover them in a future video. And don't forget to subscribe for regular updates and more exam walkthrough. And here is Venn diagram. List the members of the set A. So this is set A. The elements in that are 5, 7, 9, 11, 13 and 15. Part B, A intersection B. A intersection B are those elements which are common to both A and B. So they would be 5 and 15. Now part C, A union B dash. So these are those elements that are outside of A union B. This is A union B. Right? This is A union B. Now outside of that would be 6, 8, 12, 14 and 16. 6, 8, 12, 14 and 16. Summarize fully 12PQ minus 18P. So in this question, I know that both 12 and 18 are divisible by 6. So I will take the common factor as 6 outside. Now in PQ and in P, what is common is the P. So I'll take P outside, and what will be left here is 12PQ divided by 6P, which is 2Q. What multiplies by 6P will give me 18P. So that would be 3. 6P multiplied by 2Q is 12PQ. And 6P multiplied by minus 3 is minus 18P. So my answer will be 6P 2Q minus 3. There are 56 metal bars in a box. Each metal bar is gold, silver or zinc. So I have gold plus silver plus zinc. This will be a total of 56. Now it says why metal bars are gold and 3y plus 7 are silver and 2y minus 5, so plus 2y minus 5, these are zinc. Now if I add all of that, I should be getting 56, right? Now work out the number of metal bars that are zinc. So I need 2y minus 5, so I will need the y to substitute here to have my answer. So from that, let's solve this equation to get y. So y plus 3y plus 2y, this will give me 6y. Plus 7 minus 5, this is plus 2, is equal to 56. 6y will be equal to 54, and y will be equal to 54 divided by 6, which is 9. Now the number of zinc bars would be 2y minus 5, which would be 2 times 9 minus 5, so 18 minus 5, which is equal to 13. So my answer is 13 zinc bars. Joshua buys a car for $12,500. So I know that my buying price here is $12,500. He sells the car to Nina. Now Nina pays a deposit of $1,500 followed by 36 monthly payment of $450. Now from that I can calculate my selling price. Okay, question, work out Joshua's percentage profit. Now percentage profit, the formula is profit divided by the buying price multiplied by 100, right? Now to be able to find the percentage profit, I need the profit because I already have the buying price, which is 12,500. Now how do I find profit is by taking the selling price minus the buying price. The buying price, again, I have it. I need to look for the selling price. So let's work out the selling price of that car. Okay, so Nina pays a deposit of 1,500. So it would be 1,500 plus followed by 36 monthly payment of 450. So 1 month is 450. 36 months would be 36 multiplied by 450, right? So this is my selling price. Now 36 multiplied by 450, this will give you 16,200. Okay, add that to the deposit, which was 1,500. This will be giving you $17,700. Now what I will do is I will take this selling price, find the profit first. Okay, so my profit will be equal to 17,700 minus 12,500, which gives me 5,200. And then my percentage profit will be equal to the profit, which is 5,200, divided by the buying price, which was 12,500, multiplied by 100. And this will give you 41.6%. Question number 4. A biased spinner has 3 sections, each of a different color. The table shows the probability that when the spinner is spun once, it will land on blue, or on an orange, or on a white. So the total probability will be either that it lands on a blue, or an orange, or on a white. And we know that the total probability is always equal to 1. So the probability of blue, which is 0.58, I will add that to the probability of the orange, which is 2x here, and probability of white, which is x, and this should give me 1. Now let's do this and try to solve the equation here. So 0.58 plus 3x will be equal to 1. So 3x will be equal to 1 minus 0.58, which would be 0.42. So x will be equal to 0.42 divided by 3, which is 0.14. The spinner is spun 250 times. Work out an estimate for the number of times that the spinner will land on blue. The number of times that the spinner will land on blue is the probability of landing on blue multiplied by 250. Probability of blue was 0.58. Multiply that by 250, and I should be getting my answer. Let's check that quickly. This will give me 145. Question 5. The diagram shows a shaded shape made from 3 identical semicircles, x, y, and z. Now ABCD is the straight line, AC is the diameter, BD is the diameter, and CE is the diameter as shown here. Now AC is equal to BD is equal to CE, which is equal to 20. Okay, so these are the diameters. Work out the perimeter of the shaded shape. Okay, so to find the perimeter, I need to find the outside path. So this is my perimeter that I need. I have these two parts here which I can easily calculate, because if this is the center, this is the center, then this part will be the radius. So here is the radius, here is the radius. And I know that 2 radii is 1 diameter. So diameter would be equal to 20, right? So I know it would be R plus 3 semicircles, right? Now I know R plus R is 20. Okay, so this red part here is 20. Now for the semicircles, let's see. So one circle, the circumference is 2 pi r, right? Now for a semicircle, this part would be, how much would be 2 pi r divided by 2. Okay, this is for the circumference of the semicircle would be 2 pi r divided by 2, which is equal to pi r. Now this is for one semicircle. Now I have 3 semicircles, so it would be 3 pi r. So 3 semicircles arc would be 3 pi r. So this will be my perimeter. Perimeter would be 2r plus 3 pi r. So 2r plus 3 pi r. Or if you want, 20 plus 3 times pi times the radius, which was 10. Okay, the radius is 10, so that the diameter is 20. So it would be 20 plus 30 pi. I will give your answer correct to the nearest whole number. So let's put that in our calculator. So 20 plus 30 pi. This will give me 114 points. Okay, to the nearest whole number. So it would be just be 114 centimeters. Question 6. One wants to buy a ticket to fly from Madrid to Berlin. Now he finds two different types of ticket he can buy in a sale. Ticket A and ticket B. Now ticket A is 1/6 of normal price and ticket B is 20% of normal price. The sale price of ticket A is 140 euros and the sale price of ticket B is 136 euros. Now work out the difference between the normal price of A and the normal price of B. Okay, so this is the sale price. I will need to find the normal price and then do the difference in between them. Okay, let's start with ticket A. So it says the ticket A was, let's use fractions, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it says if this was the normal price, now I have removed 1/6 of that price, so 5/6 will be left. This 5/6 is the sale price, right? This was the normal price. The 5/6 will represent the sale price. Now this as a whole, as we said, represent the ticket A price, the ticket A normal price. So it means 5/6 of, let's say the price is x of A will give me 140. Okay, so the sale price is 5/6 of that total. Okay, the price of A. So 5/6 of x of A is equal to 140. The normal price of A will be equal to 140 multiplied by 6 divided by 5. And this will give me 168 euros. Now, same thing for B. Let's use percentage. So 20% of the normal price. So this 100% represented the normal price of ticket B. Now what happened is I'm taking 20% of that. So this remaining part will be the sale price. So the sale price will be 80%, isn't it? It is 100% minus 20%. It will give me 80%. Now, this price, I know what it is because it says that the sale price of ticket B is 136. So 80% represent 136 euros. So 100%, which was the original price, would be 136 divided by 80 to find for 1% and then multiply by 100. So this will give me 170 euros. So now if we take a difference in between these two, so 168 and 170, you will find that we will get 2 euros. Question number 7. A is equal to 5 to the power of 3 multiplied by 7 to the power of 3 multiplied by 11 to the power of 6. And B is equal to 5 to the power of 6 multiplied by 7 to the squared multiplied by 11 to the power of 4. Now I need to find the highest common factor of A and B. In HCF, we take the common with the smallest power, right? So here I have 5 common and I will take the smallest power, which is 3. Now multiplied by 7 to the power of 2 multiplied by, again, the smallest power, which is 4. And give your answer as a product of powers in its prime factors. So this will be my answer. Solve the inequality. 8x minus 4 is greater or equal to 8x minus 10. Let's write it here. 8x minus 4 is greater or equal to 3x minus 10. Now from here, I'll put all the x on my left hand side and all the numbers on my right hand side. Now 3x when goes there will become minus 3x. So I will have 8x minus 3x greater or equal to minus 10. Minus 4 goes there to become plus 4. So this will give me 5x is greater or equal to minus 6, and x will be greater or equal to minus 6 over 5. And this is my answer. Now the region R shown shaded in the diagram is bounded by 3 straight lines. Write down 3 inequalities that define the region R. Now to be able to write 3 inequalities, I need the equation of these 3 lines. Now this horizontal line over here, this is y is equal to 2. Remember, horizontal lines have equation in the form of y is equal to k. And this vertical line here has equation in the form of x equal to k, which is x equal to 7 here. And this one, as it is passing through 0, 0, 1, 1, 2, 2, etc., this is y is equal to x. Now let's see what is happening in our region. So our region is bounded by these 3 lines. So let's start with my first line, which was y is equal to 2. Since my region is above this line, so my inequality would be greater or equal to. Now for the vertical line x equal to 7, since my region is to the left, it would be less. If it was to the right, it would have been greater than. So here we have less or equal to. And in this one, above is greater, above the line is greater, below the line is less. So my region is below the line y equal to x, so it would be less or equal to. So again, if this is my line, this is greater, this is less. If this is my line, this is greater, this is less. If I have a vertical line, then this will be greater, this will be less. On this type of line, this is greater, this is less. So always above the line is greater, below the line is less. Now why is it that I'm taking less or equal to? Because these lines are solid lines. I don't have any dotted lines. So let's write it there. X is less or equal to 7, y is greater or equal to 2, and y is less or equal to x. Question 9. Write 5.87 times 10 to the power minus 4 as an ordinary number. So 5.87 times 10 to the power of negative 4. Negative 4 means I'm moving the decimal point to the left by 4. So let's do that. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Decimal points come here. I need to replace these by 0. So it would be 0.000587. Now write this number in standard form. Now my decimal point in a big number is always at the end. So let's count backwards until my A is in between 1 and 10, right? It can be equal to 1, but it can't be equal to 10. Now let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I'll be having 8.4 times 10 to the power of 7. Remember, big number has positive powers, and because you're moving to the right. Now, standard form format. This is my standard form format. If I have A times 10 to the power of n, then my A should lie in between 1 and 10, and my n is an integer. So this would be 8.4 times 10 to the power of 7. Now, the number of neurons in a human brain is 8.5 times 10 to the power of 10. The number of neurons in a monkey brain is 1.47 to the power of times 10 to the power of 9. The number of neurons in a human brain is k times the number of neurons in a monkey brain. So number of neurons in a human brain, which is 8.5 times 10 to the power of 10, is equal to k times number of neurons in a monkey brain, which is 1.47 times 10 to the power of 9. Work out the value of k and give your answer correct to 1 dp. So let's see that. So k will be equal to 8.5 times 10 to the power of 10 divided by 1.47 times 10 to the power of 9. So we can use the law of indices for this part, which will be 10 to the power of 10 minus 9 by the division law, which will give me 10 to the power of 1. And this part, let's put this in our calculator. So 8.5 divided by 1.47, this will give me 5.7823, etc., multiplied by this 10, right? So to correct to 1 dp, this will give me 57.8. Question 10. Here is triangle ABC. Work out the value of x. This is my x, right? Now, whenever I have right angle triangles, I know that I can either use Pythagoras theorem or I can use SOH CAH TOA. Now, because I'm working with angles, I will use SOH CAH TOA definitely. Now, work out the value of x. So x is this angle, right? Let's see from here. So if I want to find x, I need two sides. So opposite is this one. If I have the adjacent side, which is this part, then I would be able to find my x by using tan. So tan of x would be equal to opposite, which is 8, divided by the adjacent here. Let's call this y, so yb, right? Now, if I find this part over here and subtract that from 22, I will be able to get my yb. Let's see if we can find this part. Now I have this is equal to 8, this is equal to 40, and I don't know this part. Let's take this triangle out of there so we can represent our work clearly. So if this is 40, this is 8, this is a right angle triangle, I need to find AY. Now again, I have opposite over adjacent. So tan of 40 will be equal to 8 over AY, right? So AY would be equal to 8 divided by tan of 40. So this will give me, quickly in my calculator, so 8 divided by tan of 40, 9.534 ... Now I don't clear my calculator from here, leave it as the answer on my calculator. From that, how do I find YB? I will need to take 22 minus AY, which was the 9.543, etc. Now in my calculator, I will just take 22 minus answer, which will give me 12.465, etc. Now I won't change anything in my calculator, just leave it there. And we will carry forward this answer. So from here, I know I now have YB, so I can replace it over here to find my X. So what I need to do is 8 divided by my answer. So 8 divided by my answer in my calculator, this will give me 0.641, etc. So my X would be equal to tan inverse of that, which would be 32.6901, etc. Now, give your answer correct to 1 dp, so it would be 32.7 degrees. Question 11. Express 3 over 4 plus 5 minus x over 6x as a fraction in its simplest term. So that means I need to put them both on the same denominator. And to do that, I need to find the LCM of that denominator. So LCM of 4 and 6x is 12x, right? So let's see 3 over 4 is equal to how much over 12x, and 5 minus x over 6x is equal to how much over 12x. Now 4 multiplied by 3x is 12x. So multiply by 3x in the numerator as well. So this will be 9x over 12x, and on this side multiply by 2 to get 12x. So 6x multiplied by 2 is 12x. At the top I will do the same. I can simplify the numerator, which would be 10 minus 2x divided by 12x. Now let's add them both, right? So 3/4 became 9x over 12x, and this part became 10 minus 2x over 12x. So put them both on the same denominator, which will be 9x plus 10 minus 2x. So this would be 9x minus 2x would become 7x, and plus 10 divided by 12x, and this is my answer. Now question 12. Complete the table of values for y is equal to x cubed minus 3x plus 1. Now you can put this on your calculator. So minus 2 to the power of 3, which is 8, minus 3 times minus 2, and then plus 1, etc. So this will give you minus 1, 3, 1, minus 1, and 3. Now what I need to do from here is I need to plot this on my graph. So minus 2 and minus 1, and minus 1 and 3, and then 0 and 1, 1 and minus 1, and 2 and 3. Now draw this graph, a smooth graph. So from here to here to here. Right, so this is my curve of y is equal to x cubed minus 3x plus 1. Here are 4 graphs. So you have A, B, C, and D. Write down the letter of the graph that could have equation y is equal to minus 1 over x squared. So when we have a negative in front, that we know that it has been reflected on the x-axis, right? So let's see what A could be. A could be, since the graph is in the first and the third quadrant, it could be 1 over x cubed, for example. Okay. The graph B could be 1 over x squared because it is in the first and the second quadrant. Now, if I reflect this on the x-axis, I will be getting graph C. So this is minus 1 over x cubed, and graph D is minus 1 over x squared or minus 1 over x4, etc. So it would be graph D. Question 13. The cumulative frequency graph gives information about the times in seconds that 80 adults took to log in at an online bank. Find the estimate for the median time. Median time means the middle one, isn't it? So I will take 80, divide this by 2, which will be the 40th one. So 40 in the cumulative frequency axis. So here. And then we'll read the horizontal axis from there. So that would be 25. So 25 seconds. Work out the percentage of these adults that took longer than 50 seconds to log in and show you're working clearly. Now let's see where 50 seconds is. Here, isn't it? Alright. Now let's try to connect this from here. This is in the middle, isn't it? Okay, so this is 75. So what does that mean is 75 people took less than 50 seconds. Okay, so 75 people from here took less than 50 seconds to log in. And the total was 80. So from that we can see that 5 people took longer than 50 seconds. Okay, so let's write it here. 75 people took less than 50 seconds to log in. So total was 80. So 5 people took greater than 50 seconds to log in. Now I need to find the percentage of this adult. So percentage of these adults would be 5 divided by the total, which is 80, multiplied by 100, and this will give me 6.25%. Question number 14. I have a circle. I have the same chord suspending 2 angles, one at the circumference and one at the center. So angle at the center is twice angle at circumference, provided that they are suspended by the same gold. Right? Now let's see. ABC are points on a circle center O. OAC is 52. Find the size of angle ABC. So I need this angle. Now to find this angle, if I had the angle at the center over here, I would just have to divide this by 2 to get this one, right? So let's find a way to find this angle at the center. I have this to be equal to 52. Now OA is 52 and I know that OA is the radius. Same as for OC. OC is also the radius. So which makes this triangle an isosceles triangle. So this part will be equal to 52 degrees. Now I can easily find AOC, or angle at the center, which would be equal to 180 minus 2 times 52. So that would be 76 degrees. Now using our theorem, which says that angle at center is 2 times angle at circumference, or angle at circumference, which is ABC, would be half of AOC, which would be half of 76, which is 38 degrees. Question 15, make n the subject of formula in x equal to 3p plus n over 3n minus 4. So we have n here and here in the numerator and in the denominator as well. So I will need to get rid of the denominator first. So send this to the other side, or let's multiply by 3n minus 4 on both sides. So it gives me x, 3n minus 4 will be equal to 3p plus n, right? Now let's expand the bracket. So 3xn minus 4x will be equal to 3p plus n. Now I need to make n the subject of formula, so I'll send all my n to the left hand side. So all my terms in n on my left hand side and everything else on the right hand side. So 3xn has an n. Let's keep it here. This minus 4x, let's send it to the other side to become plus 4x. And this 3p will stay here. But this plus n, I need to send it to the other side, which becomes minus n. And I already had this part away there. Now from here, what I will do is I will factorize this part. So I have only one n. So take n outside, 3x minus 1 will be left inside the bracket. And this will be equal to 3p plus 4x. Now my n would be equal to 3p plus 4x divided by 3x minus 1. Question 16. A curve has equation y is equal to 4x cubed minus 8x plus 5. Find the x coordinate of the 2 points on the curve where the gradient is 1/3. So gradient, we know that is dy by dx. So I need to differentiate this curve over here. So differentiate 4x cubed. It would be 4 times 3, which is 12x to the squared. So send power in front, subtract 1 from power. So same thing over here. Differentiate minus 8x, it would become minus 8x to the power of 0, which is equal to 1. So just leave it as minus 8. And differentiation of a constant is 0, so we need to write it down. Now it says that the gradient is 1/3, so I'm just going to equate this to 1/3. And now we can solve this part to find the values of x. So 12x squared will be equal to 1/3 plus 8, right? So 8 multiplied by 3 is 24 plus 1. This will give me 25 over 3. And this is equal to 12x squared. So I'll put this on the same denominator. You can use your calculator if you wish. Now x squared will be equal to 25 divided by 3 times 12, right? So 25 divided by 36. And from that, my x would be equal to plus or minus square root of 25 over 36, which would be equal to plus or minus 5 over 6, because these two are square numbers. Question number 17. The histogram gives information about the weights in gram of oranges in a box. Now we have the frequency density and we have the weight in grams. Now 24 of these oranges weigh less than 20 grams. So 20 grams is here, so this will represent 24 oranges. Now medium oranges weigh between 35 and 55 grams. So 35 and 55 will be here, isn't it? So 35 and 55. So this part is medium oranges. Now work out an estimate for the number of medium oranges in the box. Now to find this, I need to find how much this is over here. Let's see. So if this area is 24 and this is 20, so this part has to be, let's call it x for now. So 20x is equal to 24. X would be equal to 24 divided by 20, which would be 1.2. So let's scale this up. So what I can say is that 10 small squares on the frequency density axis represent 1 orange. Let's see for this part. Okay, if this is 1.2, so this would be 2, so this would be 2.2 here. And then this part will be 1.8, isn't it? So let's try to find this area. This part would be 2.2 times 50 minus 35. This will give me 15. And this small part here would be 5 multiplied by 1.8. Let's write it here. So it would be 2.2 times 15 plus 1.8 times 5. And this will be giving me, let's put this in our calculator quickly. So 2.2 times 15 plus 1.8 times 5. This is 42 oranges. Question 18. The diagram shows the positions of three villages A, B, and C. The bearing of B from A is 0.54, which is given in the diagram here. And the bearing of C from B is 132, which is also given. Now, Melu walks from A to B. She then walks from B to C and from C to A. So she walks from A to B, from B to C, and from C to A. Now, she walks with an average speed of 6 kilometers per hour. So we know the formula for average speed, right? Average speed is equal to total distance divided by total time. In this case, I have average speed. It says find the total time that Melu takes. Now I can find the total distance over here because two of the distances are given to me, which are 3.6 and 8.4. Let's try to write everything that we know in this formula, right? So I will need to find the total time, which would be total distance divided by the average speed. Now total distance would be 3.6 plus 8.4 plus AC, which I don't know yet, divided by the average speed, which is in kilometers per hour, so 6 kilometers per hour. Now let's try to find our AC, so we can replace it here to find our answer, right? Now if we see this diagram, I have the two sides here and I don't have this angle. If I had this angle, I would be able to use the cosine formula to find my AC, because the cosine formula looks like this. So if this is my angle X, this is A, side of length B. So this part here would be equal to what? Let's call this C. So C to the squared would be A squared plus B squared minus 2AB cos of X. Let's see if we can find this angle. So these two north axes are two parallel lines, right? So if I have two parallel lines, and this is angle A, this is angle B, A plus B will be equal to 180, right? So from this, I can find my angle, my green angle over here. So this would be 180 minus 54, which will be giving me 126. So I know this is 126. Now this is angle at a point. I can easily find this angle ABC by taking 360 and subtracting 126 and subtracting 132 from that. From that, my ABC will be 102 degrees. Now, since I have this angle now as 102 degrees, I can replace it in the cos formula to find my AC. So AC to the squared would be 3.6 to the squared plus 8.4 to the squared minus 2 times 3.6 times 8.4 times cos of 102. Now in my calculator, I will write cos of 102 multiplied by 2 times 3.6 times 8.4, and then I will take brackets 3.6 squared plus bracket 8.4 squared minus that answer. Okay, so this will give me 96.09, and I need to square root that to get 9.8. So AC will be equal to 9.80278 something. Dot dot dot. Now what I will do from here, not clear my calculator. Okay, I will not clear my calculator. I'll take this AC and add it over there. So replace AC by 9.8. So just add that to 8.4 and 3.6 in my calculator and divide this answer by 6. We will get our answer, which is 3.63, and this is in hours. Okay, because we are working in kilometers per hour for the average speed. Now it says give your answer in hours and minutes. So 3.63, I already know that it would be 3 hours, right? Now from here, I will just subtract 3 from that. So 0.63 dot 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 will be equal to how many minutes? So 1 hour, I know it is 60 minutes. So 0.63 would be what? Would be 0.63 times 60. So multiply, so minus 3 in my calculator to get 0.63, 37966, etc. And multiply this by 60. This will give me 38.02. So it would be 3 hours, 38 minutes. Question 19. Here are the first 4 terms in an arithmetic sequence. So 3, 7, 11, 15. This is an AP. Now the last term of the sequence is x, right? The sum of the terms of the sequence is 7260. Okay, so sum of all the terms is 7260. Find the value of x. So find the last term. So we know that sum of an AP, Sn, is equal to n over 2, 2a plus n minus 1d. Now my first term is 3, so a will be equal to 3. My common difference would be 7 minus 3, which is 4. Let's replace it over here, because I know that this will be equal to 7260. So n, which I don't know, divided by 2. This is 2 times 3 plus n minus 1 times 4. Okay, let's simplify. So n over 2 bracket 6 plus 4n minus 4. And this part will become n over 2, 2 plus 4n, which again becomes 1 plus 2n inside the bracket and then out and outside. So this will be equal to 7260. Now what we can do is we can expand and simplify. So n plus 2n squared will be equal to 7260. I have a quadratic equation. So 2n squared plus n minus 7260 would be equal to 0. Use the formula minus b plus or minus b squared minus 4ac divided by 2a. So this will give me, let's try to simplify the inside root. So 1 plus 4 times 2 times 7260. This square root will give me 241. So minus 1 plus minus 241 divided by 4. Now let's find our n. So it would be, I won't take the negative part because I know I can't have a negative amount of terms. So I'll only take minus 1 plus 241 divided by 4. And this will give me 240 divided by 4, which is 60. So I know that the total terms that I have in this sequence is 60. Now I need to find the last term. So I know that Tn for an AP is a plus n minus 1d. So I'm finding the term t. Okay, so the 60th term would be equal to a, which is 3, plus n minus 1 now, which is 59, of d, which is 4. So this would be 59 multiplied by 4 plus 3, which is equal to 239. And this is my answer. Question 20. A bag contains only 10-cent and 20-cent coins. So only two possibilities, 10 and 20s. Now Joseph takes a coin at random from the bag, records its value, and replaces it in the bag. He then takes at random a second coin from the bag, records its value, and places it in the bag. Now Joseph finds the mean value of the two coins. The probability that the two coins have a mean value of 10 cents is 49 out of 121. So what does that mean? It means that he got a 10 and then another 10, and this would be 49 over 121, right? Now, work out the probability that the two coins have a mean value of 15 cents. Okay, let's try to find individually the probability of 10 and the probability of getting a 20. Now here, we did probability of 10 multiplied by the probability of 10 to get 49 over 121. And if you notice over here, these two are square numbers, right? So probability of 10 would be equal to square root of this thing, which would be 7 over 11. Now probability of 10 is 7 over 11. So probability of 20, since we have only two possibilities, it would be the total probability, which is 1, minus 7 over 11, which is 4 over 11. So I now have my probability of 10 and my probability of 20. Now let's see our question. So the probability that the two coins have a mean value of 15 cents. This can only happen if I get a 10 and a 20, or a 20 and then a 10. Because then the mean would be 30 divided by 2, which is 15. So it would be probability of 10 multiplied by probability of getting a 20, or, which means plus, probability of getting a 20 first and then getting a 10. So 10 is 7 over 11 multiplied by 4 over 11 plus 4 over 11 multiplied by 7 over 11. So 28 divided by 121, and we can just multiply this by 2. I will be getting 0.46 something, or 56 over 121. Question 21. Here is a triangular prism ABCDEF. AD is 53, DF is 28, and angle FDE is 30. Work out the volume of the triangular prism and give your answer correct to the nearest whole number. Now we know that the volume of a prism is the area of the cross section multiplied by the length, right? Now here, what is my cross section? My cross section is this triangle, right? So area of the triangle, cross section or area of the triangle, which would be half times the base, which is DE, times the height, which is FE. Okay, so area of triangle is half times base times height, multiply by the length, which is AF. Now let's find the area of the cross section first. Now seeing this triangle, I don't know what is FE, I don't know what is DE. All that I know is I have a right angle triangle and I have an angle which is 30 over here. So what I will do is, I can use SOH CAH TOA, isn't it? Because I know that this part is 28. Okay, let's see. So if I want to find FE, this would be my opposite and this will be my hypotenuse. So sine of 30 will be opposite, which is FE, divided by 28, which is the hypotenuse. So FE would be 28 sine 30, which is half. So this would be 14. So I already got my FE, which is 14. Now let's do the same for DE. This would be adjacent over hypotenuse. So adjacent over hypotenuse, we can use cos. So cos of 30 is DE over hypotenuse, which is 28. So DE would be equal to 28 cos of 30. So 28 root 3 over 2. And this will give you, if you want, you can type that in a calculator or just leave it as 14 root 3. Now in this triangle at the top, I have two sides, right? Let's clear this. I have two sides now. So I have a right angle triangle like this. And this part is 28. This is 53. I need to find this one. So I can use Pythagoras theorem, which says that this side will be the longest side to the squared minus one of the shorter side to the squared under root, right? Now, if you forgot the Pythagoras theorem, here it is. So if this is A, this is B, this is C. So C squared will be equal to A squared plus B squared. Be careful, this is the longest side. Now, let's try to find this. So 53 to the squared minus 28 to the squared. And square root of 25 will give you 45. So I know my AF is 45 centimeters. So we've got everything. Let's replace it here. So this would be half times DE, which was 14 root 3, times FE, which is 14, times AF, which was 45. So 45 multiplied by 14, multiplied by 0.5, multiplied by 14 root 3. Okay, because it says give your answer to the nearest whole number. So it will give me 7638.3, but I'll leave this as 7638 as my answer to the nearest whole number. So 7638. Question number 22. In this question, 1 centimeter is 1 unit on the x-axis and 1 centimeter is 1 unit on the y-axis. Now, P is a point in a circle with center 0, 0. The coordinates of P are 8 and minus 10. Okay, so 8 and minus 10 is a point on a circle with center 0, 0. Now, for me to read this is quite difficult. So what I will do is I will try to draw a diagram so I can visualize everything. So this is my y-axis, my x-axis. And 8 and minus 10 doesn't have to be exact. So this is 8, this is minus 10. This is my point P. And I know that my circle has center 0, 0 here. So this would be my circle. Right? Let's say this is my circle. Okay, this would be my radius from O to P. Now the line L is the tangent to the circle at the point P. Now I have a tangent over here at the point P, which was 8 minus 10. This is my line L. Now L crosses the x-axis at Q and the y-axis at R. So Q is here, y-axis at R is here. And then work out the length of RQ. Now, to work out the length of RQ, I need the coordinates of R and Q, right? Because the equation to find the distance of RQ would be what? If, let's say, R is x1, y1, and Q is x2, y2, right? So RQ would be x2 minus x1 to the squared plus y2 minus y1 to the squared. So this is what we need to find the distance. So to find this, I will need my 2 points, R and Q, as two coordinates, right? Now to find these two coordinates, I will need the equation of the line L. And then I can replace the equation of the x-axis and the equation of the y-axis into that equation of L to get the coordinates. Now to get the equation of L, what do I need? I need this gradient. Okay, I need the gradient of L and 1 point, right? So I already have 1 point over there with 8 and minus 10. Now to find the gradient of L, now what do I need? I need the gradient of the perpendicular line to L, which is also the radius. Okay, so let's start from here. So how do I find gradient of the radius? I can use y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1 because I know 2 points on the radius, right? This is my radius, so this is 0, 0, and then I have 8 minus 10. I use this radius because it is 90 degrees all perpendicular to my line L. So y2 minus y1, if I have 0, 0, and 8 minus 10. So y2 minus y1, let's write it here. So minus 10 minus 0 divided by 8 minus 0. So this will give me minus 5 over 4. Now this is the gradient of the radius. Now we know how to find the gradient of L. This will be take reciprocal of this one and just change the sign. So this will be positive 4 over 5. Why do I do this? Take reciprocal and change the sign. So if it is negative, it will become positive because the gradient of a line L multiplied by the gradient of a line perpendicular to that L should be equal to minus 1. This is something to remember. Now I know that my gradient L is 4 over 5 and I have this point that passes through this line, isn't it? Okay, so the gradient of this line here is 4 over 5 and I have the point 8 minus 10. So m is equal to 4 over 5 and the point P is 8 minus 10. I can use the straight line equation y is equal to mx plus c to find the equation of L. So y is minus 10, m is 4 over 5, x is 8 plus c. Find the value of c. This will give me quickly minus 16.5. So my equation of L will be y is equal to 4 over 5. We can write this as 0.5, 0.8, isn't it? Yeah, 0.8x minus 16.5. This is my equation of L. Very important. Once I have this equation of L, now I can find my 2 coordinates. Now, how do I move from here to find my 2 coordinates? I will say at the x-axis. The equation of the x-axis is y equal to 0, right? So I will replace y equal to 0 into this equation here. So 0 is equal to 0.8x minus 16.5. So x will be equal to 16.5 divided by 0.8, which is 16.4, isn't it? Okay, this is 16.4, not 16.5. Okay, so 16.4, my bad. So 16.4 divided by 0.8. Again, 16.4 divided by 0.8, this will give me 20.5, exactly. So 20.5. So I know my one coordinate would be 20.5 and 0. Move from here. So first coordinate would be 20.50 and this is the coordinate of Q. Now let's find the coordinate of R, which is on the y-axis. So I will say at y-axis, all my x will be equal to 0. Now this is the equation of the y-axis. So replace it in the equation of L again. So y will be equal to 0.8x, which is 0, minus 16.4. So my y would be equal to minus 16.4. And I have the coordinates of R, which is 0 minus 16.4. Now that I have these two, I can replace it in the formula, in the distance formula, which is here. So R is 0 minus 16.4 and this one is 20.5, 0. Replace it and find my RQ. So let's write it here at the top. So this would be minus 20.5 to the squared plus minus 16.4 to the squared, and this will give me 26.2528. So I need to give my answer to 3 SF. It would be 26.3. Okay, quite a long question, but you get 6 marks for this question. So if you can reason step by step and show all your workings, you should be alright. Question number 23, solid A is similar to solid B. Here is some information about solid A and solid B. So we have height, we have area, we have volume. Only this part is the information which is given to me is useful for now. Okay, so if we are working with similar solids or similar shapes, if I have the scale factor, if this is x, this will be x squared, this will be x cubed, right? Now let's see what I can do over here. So I want to know by how much this is changing over here, right? So my scale factor here would be 7776 divided by 486. And this will give me 16. So it means I am multiplying by 16 over here. Now 16 looks like 4 to the power of 2, isn't it? So the scale factor would be 4. And then here it is 4 to the power of 2. Here it should be 4 to the power of 3. Now let's see what the question says. Work out the height of solid B. So this is what I need. Now to find this, definitely I will need to find my x. Now let's see why I have both equations. It's here. If I'm multiplying by 16 over here, or if I'm multiplying by 4 to the power of 2, I know I will need to multiply by 4 to the power of 3 here. So 2 to the power of x plus 4 multiplied by 4 to the power of 3 should be equal to 8 to the power of x. So 2 to the, let's put everything on the base of 2. So 2 to the power of x plus 4 multiplied by 2 to the power of, so 2 and then to the power of 3 is equal to 2 to the power of 3, which is 8 to the power of x. So this would be 2 to the power of x plus 4 multiplied by 2 to the power of 6, which is equal to 2 to the power of 3x. Okay, let's use law of indices over here. So x plus 4 plus 6 would be equal to 3x. So x plus 10 would be equal to 3x. So 2x would be equal to 10, x would be equal to 5. Okay, now that I have my 5, if I find the height of solid A, from that I divide by 4, I should be getting my height of solid B. Because here I'm multiplying by 4. On the other side, I will be dividing by 4 for the height. So 3 to the power of x for the height of solid A would be 3 to the power of 5, which is 243. So height of B would be 243 divided by 4, which is 60.75. So this would be 60.75, which is my answer. Question number 24. The curve with equation f of x is equal to 5x squared plus 9x plus 2 is transformed to the curve with equation gx is equal to 5x plus 4 to the squared plus 9 times x plus 4 plus 8 by the translation AB. Now write down the values of A and the value of B. Okay, let's see what is happening here from fx to gx. If you can see here, the x is becoming, okay, the x here is becoming x plus 4, and this 2 has become 8. So I can just write this as 2 plus 6 if I had f of x, and now I have f of x plus something, plus a certain k. So what I will do is I will move the graph up by k. If I had minus k, it would move down by k, right? Now, if I had my f of x, now my f of x became f of x plus k. Okay, so the x itself has been changed to x plus k instead of taking the function and then adding k as it was in the first case over here. So in this case, what we will do is we will move to the left or to the right. Now, if I have a plus, I will move to the left by k units. So f of x minus k, if I had a negative, I would move to the right by k units. So here we can see that x became, so the function x became x plus 4. So what is happening over here? If I had f of x equal to x and it became f of x plus 4, it means that I need to move to the left. Remember, it is the reverse. So if it is a plus, it means you're moving to the left. By how much? By 4 units. Right? Now, same thing for x plus 4 over here. Now, this plus 8, forget about it. Just think as if you had plus 2 plus 6. Now, what is happening here is I'm having the function f of x, right? And then I'm adding 6. So this 6 resembles this one. It is as if I'm taking the function and then I'm adding 6. So I will be moving up by 6. How do I know I move up? Because I have a plus 6. If I had minus 6, I would have moved down by 6. So now I'm moving left by 4. So this would be minus 4 because I'm moving to the left. And moving up by 6. So this would be plus 6. Now in vector form, this would be minus 4 and 6. And hence my A is minus 4 and my B is 6. Let's see the last question. The graph of y is equal to p cos x plus q for x lying between 0 and 360 inclusive is drawn on the grid below. Given that p is greater than 0 and q lies between 0 and 360, find the value of p and the value of q. Now from here, if we see this graph, we know that anything that we have in front is the amplitude, right? So I'll find the lowest point and the highest point in this graph. So the highest point will be at 3 and the lowest point is at minus 3. So I have 6 units in between. The amplitude is from the middle to this one. So 6 divided by 2, which would be 3. Okay, so if I have a graph like this is the amplitude. So in this case, this would be 3. Now this is a graph of x plus q. So what I will do is, because we are talking about the cost curve, let me just try to draw the cost curve in this diagram. So cost curve starts at minus 1. It will cross 90 and 260 in the range of O for period 360. So here it will look something like this and continue over here. Lowest point would be at 180 and at minus 1 on the y-axis. So this would be my y equal to cos of x. Now let's see over here where it crosses the x-axis. Okay, the graph crosses the x-axis at 90. But here I can see that the graph which is given to me, it crosses the x-axis at this point. So what is the difference here? This is what is happening to the graph. Because remember we said that whenever we have something which is being added inside the function, we either move right or left. But here, since I'm moving to the left to get his curve, which is given to me, it means that it would be plus this difference. So here is 90, this would be 45, right? So the difference here would be 90 minus 45, which is still 45. The Q would be 45 degrees. Okay, so we finished with this paper. And if you don't understand anything, just leave it in the comments below. and I'll try my best to explain it to you next time. And if you have any trouble with any topic, you can tell me. I'll just make a revision series on that topic. Okay, so happy revision, and I'll see you in the next video.